Hey you guys, it's me again, and I'm going to talk about my prediction for the Wild House movie. So, ever since Chris Savino, aka the creator of the show itself, announced it at the Comic-Con 2017, he said the events of the movie will be separated from the actual show. What the heck? Is he saying that it ain't canon? Is he saying that it ain't canon to the show? Well, despite his firing, here is my prediction. I'm gonna say it should be about Lincoln. Let me start over. I'm gonna say this. It should be about. Let me start one more time. This movie should take place in summer, which is ironic because the movie got pushed back to summer, which is this year, which Lincoln should be packing up his stuff to go see Ronnie Anne for only 1 week. But he says goodbye to his sisters first, as well as his parents. Then, and when we are about to take him, in about a half an hour, Chandler shows up, asking him if he can come and wake in. It's like, sorry, Chandler, no can do, just me. And Chandler is like, oh, bros. Then Chandler hatches a plan to break up Lincoln and Ronnie Anne for good with three steps. such as one making them kiss in front of half of Ronnie Anne's friends, which Lincoln first met in that season 3 episode 6, Rickers. I think that was the name. Like Casey, Nikki, and Sam. Then the second one was to make them puke by eating a ton of food at an Italian restaurant. Then last but not least, make them have a fake wedding and by her very best friend, who was not in Sid Chang, and would make her furious. And when Lincoln we are about to leave, Chandler sneaks under and Scylla with his plan. Still plan, no pun intended. They take off for the big city. Then when Lincoln arrives at the Megalo, I think that's the name of the building, he is glad to see Ronnie Anne once again. We all know Ronnie Anne has moved away from Royal Woods in season 2, along with her mother, as well as her big brother Bobby, who is in love with Lincoln's oldest sister Roy. Anyways, back to my prediction. When Lincoln goes into the building with his suitcase, Rita drives back to the Wow House, and Chandler has sneaked out from and Sarah, when no one was looking, still planning to break up Lincoln and Ronnie, but he, but he, but he uses a disguise by pretending to be a channel man named let me think of the name. I named Mark Newman. Yeah, that's it, Mark Newman. I'm not really sure what fun things Lincoln and Ronnie Anne should do around the big city or the apartment. If you have any ideas, just send me them in the comments below. However, Chandler, aka Mark Newman, and the gentleman comes up to Lincoln and Ronnie Anne, asks them to come near a tree, asks them to kiss. But they disagree with the offer. But Chandler, aka Mark Newman, forces them to. But when they're about to kiss, Casey, Nikki, and Sam here show up suspiciously and ask them what they were doing. And Chandler, aka Mark Newman, lied to them and insults Ronnie and by judging them by the way they are, and they become so pissed that they decided to leave. Then Lincoln and Ryan begged them to come back, but they refused, which made them very down. And Lincoln and Ryan come back to the apartment looking miserable. Then Ryan decides to talk to Sid Chang, talking to them about something that happened today that wasn't her fault. And then Ryan asked her if she was still her best friend, and then she agrees. See, this is why I love Lincoln, Ronnie, and Sid's relationship, since my all-time favorite Casa Grande's episode, The Horoscope, which is a Casa Grande's episode I go back to the most. I hope Nickelodeon will release a Casa Grande's DVD sometime in the future. Chandler, aka Mark Newman, then takes them to this same Italian restaurant where Lincoln and Ronnie had their date. Same with Bobby and Roy, and made them order a ton of Italian food, and they tried to stop him, but Chandler, aka Mark Newman, takes no notice. But it wasn't long until Lincoln and Ronnie start beginning to puke, which makes them have to go in the bathroom and throw up in the toilets. I apologize if I sound disgusting. And they had to go, and they go back to the apartment, and Ronnie's mother had uses her her I'm not sure what those things are called, that doctors use to tell when your heart is breathing. So I recommend you post the comment below. Oh. Oh. Oh, I realized that Ronnie's mother's name is Maria. Maria was like, oh, this sounds serious. Then and Rosa was not surprised about the insane bill because of all the food she thought Lincoln and Ronnie had ordered at a Italian restaurant. But Lincoln and Ronnie started to claim that it wasn't their fault, saying that Mark Newman, aka Chandler, forced them to order all of them. And they decided to chill out in their rooms. And then Mark Newman, aka Chandler, decides to come on down, ask them to put on some rain clothes, planning a fake wedding. And decides to invite Sid Chang. And he pretends to be Ronnie Anne. And then Mark Newman, aka Chandler, pretends to be a pretest and asks them if they take each other to be husband or wife. They are both like, then Chandler, aka Mark Newman, it's like, I'll together, yes. Yes, then Ryan is like, no, I didn't even say I do. Then Ryan is like, neither did I. Then Chandler, aka Mark Newman, is like, well, it's too bad. they blow some gum, and he spits it on Lincoln and Ronnie Anne's hands. Then they become stuck together. Then Jane comes and he becomes so mad. He shouts like, "Ronnie Anne, how could you? How could you dream of it?" And Ronnie Anne's like, "No, Sid, it's not what it looks like. Please, no." And Sid's like, "No, Ronnie Anne, I'm fed with this. I can't believe you've been lying to me. I'm through with you. Our friendship is officially over." Oh. Then Lincoln's like, "No, Sid, please come back. You are your besties, and so am I. I don't get it. Why your friends hate you now?" Then Chandler is like, because you're such a chicken. Lincoln, right? Then Lincoln is like, "Chandler, you did all this?" Then Chandler congratulates Lincoln for helping him get rid of criminal phrase that. Then Chandler congratulates Lincoln for getting for getting rid of Ronnie Anne's friends. Then he leaves. Then Ronnie Anne becomes so furious at Lincoln for thinking that he had betrayed her. Then Lincoln starts yelling at her back, saying they not betray her. Her later. And then they start arguing about all the past actions. And the friendship also comes to an end. Because of that, Lincoln grabs out the egg that they took care of in the season 2 episode Shell Shock and gives it to her, and she becomes fine with that. But they couldn't escape each other because of the girl that Chandler had stuck to them. Lincoln suggested that he should use his buck teeth to get him out of there. But it turned out it actually worked. But since the friendship was over, they decided to go their separate ways. Look, I know if that sounded kind of sad, but I'm just making my prediction. Anyways, Ronnie Anne starts to go through the entrance door. Then Bobby asks her why she was in a rain dress, and Ronnie Anne and tells also to leave her alone. Then when she goes in the room, Carl starts laughing at her. He's like, ha ha ha! Ronnie Anne, in such a fancy anti-dress? Ha 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 ha! That's got to be the most hilarious thing I've ever heard. Ha 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 ha! Then Ronnie Anne becomes more pissed than ever. He's like, oh, I've never been so humiliated in all my life. Quote, this is reminiscing to what Daffy Duck would say. Then she talks about what all the things what happened today, especially with Lincoln. Then Rosa tells him that the wilds have always been dangerous to them. But Maria Fortry disagrees with her. But Ronnie Anne decides to go in a room, get changed, and cool off for a while. And Bobby is worried either what their friendship will be like in the future. But Carl Walter is like, oh, Bobby, you're just overreacting. They will never be enemies forever. Meanwhile, with Lincoln, he is on the rooftop, cooling down. Trying to cool down. Meanwhile, he grabs his phone with photos taken from the earlier episodes. Starts selecting them, about to delete them all, but he's like, oh, what's the use? I can't do it. And he's on the edge of the building, about to kill himself. Sorry, everyone, not trying to be heartless, but unfortunately, he's grabbed by Sergio, and he pulls him back onto the building. Which kind of reminds him, hey, I always wanted to fly. And Sergio's like, ah, you did? And Lincoln's like, yeah, I want to fly. with a red popcorn backpack, but I unknowingly gave it to Chandler for Christmas. For it was for Wawa. For Wawa. But Sergio kind of feels bad for him. And also comfort him about Ronnie Anne. But Lincoln's like, oh no, Ronnie and I are through. Meanwhile, with Ronnie Anne still trying to cool off, Bobby comes into her room, trying to talk to her about what happened today, but she refused to budge. But then Bobby tells him a story about him and Roy when they were about her and Lincoln's age. I just like get into a fight accidentally, cooling off for a while, then getting back together again. And Ryan still realizes she has the egg for a memory, and she also realizes she should do the same thing like Bobby did. Meanwhile, with Sergio still trying to Lincoln, and Rick has finally cooled off, and she goes down to the elevator, and then he finally goes back to Ronnie. Then they apologize to each other. Then tell them that they both have their differences and all that. And but Lincoln and Ronnie both realize that Sid is still mad at both of them, and for thinking that they were trying to get married. So they go into her apartment trying to talk to her, as well as her little sister, Ad A D. Sorry if I pronounced the name wrong. But she refused to budge as well. Then and Ryan and tells him the truth about her dad. That the truth is that she did not like kissing Lincoln. And ever since the events of heavy metal, Anne saved the day, and she knows that she's unable to skateboard. Sorry if it isn't the best I can come up with. And if REH and RHATL finally got her the art. But then why instead of finally friends again? Now they all realize it was that good for nothing Chandler, who has been using Lincoln for all these years. Then they, oh excuse me, let me start over. Then Lincoln, Ronnie, Sid, and Algie, and Algiel, and Algie Wade, Ada, go to the Casa Grande's apartment and tell them about the plan to get back at Chandler for bullying him nonstop. Lincoln suggested he should call his sisters to come help him, as well as his friends, and they all agreed. But when they arrive, Wallace starts strangling Lincoln for getting her earrings from Chandler, all because Chandler was untrustworthy. And Lana begs her to stop. Same with Lenny. Roy claims that she was in charge, but Lenny says that she was in charge now. But Roy denies that she was the oldest sister. Of course, it's a callback to the infamous Brawl in the Family. I don't want to get started on that. Of course, Audrey L. and Sid Chang are helping out the whole really so she doesn't get in the fight. And then Ronnie Anne shouts out to break up the fight and explains since says that Lincoln's not always good, aka not really the best person, you know. But War was like, what? Look at Lincoln's arms. Gwen will phrase that. And Ronnie is like, oh, now it's time. Lincoln should toughen up to beat Chandler. But War was like, but look at Lincoln's arms. So weak. He can't even beat a cow. Then Gwen is like, I think I'm the one to help her. But Lincoln turns down Gwen's offer to help him because of her bad actions in the past. And Gwen becomes fine with it. And then all of Lincoln's remaining sisters go and fan Sarah, including Lily. But despite worry, since she's in college now, decides to stay with Bobby for the rest of Lincoln's vacation. And it wasn't long until Lincoln's friends cried, Rusty, Liam, Zach, and last but not least Stella alive. And Lincoln tells them that they are gonna get back at Chandler once and for all, and Clyde definitely agrees with him. And Ronnie and promises to toughen them up first thing tomorrow. Then when the morning begins, Ronnie wakes up Lincoln and the rest of his friends with an air horn. Then at the wrestling match, which is in the episode The Two Clubs. The Casagrandes episode The Two Clubs is when Ronnie Anne starts training Lincoln Clyde and the rest of his friends to become tough. The same for Sid Chang. And while they were training, I suggested a song by Survivor, none other than Eye of the Tiger, should start playing. if Nickelodeon can get permission from them. I know that song was used in various shows such as the Thomas and Friends episode Over the Hill, when Stephen and Gwen were about to race over Gwen's Hill to Knapford Station, and it was also used in a Chandler episode when Chandler dreams of becoming a sumo wrestler, as well as a Family Guy episode when Lois was beating up that woman, and when Lincoln cried, Rusty, William, Zack, and Stella have finally toughened up. Ronnie is like, now are you ready to get back, Chandler? And Clyde's like, you bet we are. And says like, great! He'll be defeated in no time. Then he writes a note to Lincoln writes a note to Chandler, telling him to meet him at Great Lakes Park tonight. Then Chandler gets the note and he agrees, but it gets a little worse by inviting all his friends. And one night, Lincoln and Ronnie Anne start going down the subway. It wasn't long until they find Chandler with Norris wins such as Hawk, Richie, Trent, etc. And then they start chasing Lincoln and Ronnie until Lincoln and Ronnie climb up a tree. Here. And Ronnie starts throwing apples at Chandler. Oh, until Chandler starts kicking the tree until Lincoln starts falling, and he becomes knocked out. And Roy, the rest of his sisters, his friends, and of Ronnie Anne's family members, and Sid and the rest of James become shocked at this. He'll become sad while while Chandler and his friend celebrate his death. And we can all agree that that sounds fairly heartless. Then Hen then Maria takes her telescope pointing on Lincoln's heart, turning out that he wasn't dead, hurling out it was still breathing. Then all three sisters apologized for their actions in the past, which I awoke thinking. Then and cried. I was glad to see him that he wasn't dead, so were the rest of his friends. But Chandler was not surprised. And then Lincoln kicks Chandler down as a payback for his past actions, such as getting using him and Clyde to get him free stuff on his birthday out of Roy's money, believing that him and Clyde can't handle a spooky house, even if Addie apologized to them for it. He decided to take it back by kicking him in his desk as in Mr. Blotner's class, and even putting in his desk, and for taking his desk apart, and for taking his whip hardcore back when he already has one. And then Sid tells him that is not what friendship is all about. That's just being a boy. Imagine yourself being kicked in your desk. How would that make you feel? Did you see that? I just made a Peanuts reference. I don't think I need to hurry up. This video's about to become an hour long. Anyways, say Ronnie Anne pretends to be a plays a bullfighter to Liam while he's riding a mechanical bull like Chandler. And then Laura and Lana get mustard from one of the hot dog stands and squish it in Chandler's eyes. Then he starts and he screams. That's gonna be so hilarious. And then Bobby rings the bell for all those cats ever since their first appearance in the Wow is Missing related chaos back in the season 2 of the Wow House, which they started attacking Chandler. That's gonna be hilarious as well. And last but not least, Rennie suggesting to Carlotta that she should put makeup on Chandler to make him look like a cutie. I don't mean to sound weird. And then all Chandler's friends start laughing at him and suggest that he should go look at his reflection in the pond. And then he starts freaking out. And then Leopard starts taking his photograph. Oh, one more thing. It's like, and Chandler really has something to say to you. But Chandler doesn't believe Lincoln that babies like really could talk. And then Willie starts saying like, yeah, big boy, you better give Lincoln his hardcore back to him, or else. And then Chandler becomes even more freaked out than ever. And he becomes like, oh, mommy! Mommy, wake me up! 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 And then and Lincoln, his sisters, friends, the cats of Ronnie's and James all start laughing. And for Laura gives the earrings that he gave to Lincoln back, and she's like, here, take your stinking earrings back. And at last he was picked up by a summer camp police officer who should be voiced by none other than Christopino the Queer himself. Yeah, I know he got fired in late 2017, but he should think twice before sexually harassing women. but Christofino should admit all his wrongdoings in the past before coming back to Nickelodeon Studios. Anyways, the summer camp police officer punishes Chandler for being one more phrase that the summer camp police officer punishes Chandler for being very cruel to Lincoln for his past actions. Because of this, he starts to take him to summer camp until further notice. And then on Lincoln's last day of his vacation, the Louds, Casagrandes, and Chains begin to interact with each other, especially Rory and Bobby. And then Rory like, hey Bobby, are you supposed to be lifeguarding? It's okay, babe. I'm taking the day off. I have someone to take over me. And then Lincoln and Ronnie are at that same pool, which is from that episode, that Casagrandes episode, Sink or Swim. Then Lincoln and Ronnie are both like, cannonball! Then when Lincoln and Ronnie are about to take a picture in the pool, that lifeguard shows them the rule that says no flash photography. Then Lincoln asked them if they could do this just this once. Then the lifeguard's like, oh okay, but why don't tell the manager or share this in public. Then Ryan's like, no worries, we won't. Meanwhile with Chandler, he's struggling to do push-ups at summer camp. He gets real tired of it. And he gets a visit from Lincoln. Then at last, Chandler finally gives Lincoln his Rip Hardcore backpack back. No pun intended. They finally use the backpack to get back to fly out of the camp. Then Ryan is like, hey, I wonder where Lincoln is at. It's nearly time for him to go back to Royal Woods. Then he arrives back at the hero. Oh, with his real and Ryan is like, oh, you're finally back. Back. Again. And I will her back. You're not a loser at all. Then Wiccan's like, of course I'm not lying, Aaron. Mind if we just go for a little? Mind if we go for a little ride? Then Ronnie Anne's like, not at all. Then Lincoln and Ronnie Anne just go for a ride on Lincoln's red hardcore backpack and start flying around the city for a while. Well, he starts seeing everything from the stair until Roy and Pi see them. And Roy's like, oh, he is so beautiful. And Pi's like, he is. And then when Lincoln was done with the backpack, done flying, and then Lincoln and all his sisters, but the exception of Roy, were ready to go home. We all know Roy's still in college. I'm not gonna say it again. But before they go home, Lincoln and Ronnie Anne say goodbye to each other. Because it's such a shame, neither Lincoln or Ronnie Anne got to say goodbye to each other in the Casa Grande's episode Cursed. Let me rephrase that. Before Lincoln goes back to Royal Woods, he and Ronnie Anne say goodbye to each other. And then give each other a hug. Such an emotional scene. And then Leah tries them back to Roy Woods. And then Lincoln breaks the fourth wall as usual. Joel saying, I really loved many times. Wait. Peter. I was. No. Also. And here's a lesson to you all. Always be yourself. And then the credits start rolling. And after the first start of credits, Clyde hangs up his picture of him and Ronnie Anne in the pool. And and meanwhile, while Wade was still using his backpack to fly, he realized he could accidentally mess with all his remains with her. He becomes so pissed off. They started chasing him. Then Lincoln's like waiting the fourth wall. I'm real busy here. Please cut the film. Then the rest of the credits started rolling down. Okay, everyone, I apologize if this video was way too long. That is my whole prediction for the Wild House movie. And please, Nickelodeon, make this prediction come true. I'll be totally disappointed if you don't. That's all I would like to say. This is me signing off, and goodbye!